Welcome to Unexplainable. We are back after a little bit of a hiatus, but I had some personal issues I just had to take care of, and I'm actually, I finished taking care of them. So we're back. We're going to be here for a couple more weeks until probably a little bit more of a vacation, but new episodes are coming, so stay tuned, guys. Alright, so today's episode, we're going to be talking about UFO and aliens. Now, this is one of my favorite topics, in the whole paranormal and, unexplainable entities in the whole world. I mean, aliens and UFOs, they have been around since probably the early 1800s, and a lot of, public figures like George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, these guys have claimed that they've seen UFOs flying in the sky. Personally, I have an experience, and this is going to be a two-part video too, by the way, and it's really just going to be me explaining the whole, where aliens came from, and just all the theories out there. I'm also going to be giving my stories about UFOs and aliens, plus there's a guy who I've been talking to who's claimed he's seen aliens, and we're going to have him on the phone for maybe a 15-minute interview, which I really am excited because this guy's actually kind of cool. So that's going to be in the next part, but that's going to be a couple weeks down the line once we talk to him. But in any event, yes, aliens and UFOs. Like I said, George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, all those guys back in the 1800s, they have claimed they've seen UFOs flying in the sky. Even in the Civil War, a lot of the people have said that they claim to have seen UFOs in the sky. Now, personally, I believe the first record of aliens really dated back in Roswell, back in the 1950s, which caused a lot of UFO inflation and a spike in pretty much the whole UFO phenomenon. And plus, you got to take a look at the other things, like Area 51 in Nevada. And Bob Lazar, one of the most famous guys in the UFO history, he claimed that he worked on these UFOs back in Area 51, and he actually took his friends to the crash site in Nevada, not the crash site, but to a mountain in Nevada at midnight, and he saw these things shoot up in the sky, which the government tried to wipe his mind. But with all that being said, Area 51 is one of the most guarded places in the world, which literally Bob Lazar showed his friends that UFOs actually existed. And the more and more I think about it, UFOs have been around for a long time. I mean, like I said before, I've had personal experiences, and I'm going to share my experiences with UFOs. And yeah, it's just nuts. And back in 2020 when the pandemic happened, the Pentagon has released a lot of UFO footage. And I mean a shit ton of UFO footage where planes are in the sky and they see this weird object just flying in the distance. And the government denied it for so long, but why in 2020? But why did the government hide all known facts about aliens and UFOs back then? Why did they release it in 2020? Which also, it makes me wonder more. A lot of alien footage kept resurfacing when the pandemic happened. More and more people started taking videos of UFOs in the sky. And I don't know if it was just because there were no planes in the air, but it's actually kind of freaky. I kind of wish I looked up in the sky more during the pandemic, because I probably would have seen a lot of crazy things. But hey, never know, it could happen again. The world could be ending tomorrow, who knows? In any event, yeah. But here are my stories about the UFOs that I've seen. I've seen UFOs where I've seen a couple things in my life. And they were kind of weird UFO sightings in my personal opinions. I'm going to name a couple stories. For example, my uncle was in Florida one day and he was just looking out at the ocean. He saw something shoot up from the water straight into the sky. And he said it wasn't a missile, it wasn't a rocket, it wasn't anything. It just shot straight up in the sky. That was back in 1980. And that also raises another question. Aliens could be underwater because only 5% of the water is pretty much only discovered. So honestly, yeah, that's pretty much it. Another story was we were up in my summer house and my cousin saw these lights in the sky, like 3 orb-looking lights just in the sky, flashing back and forth, back and forth. And there was no sound, no humming. It was just like a humming noise, which is actually kind of scary in itself. Plus, here's my story. I was at my summer house in 2019. This is fairly recent. My wife and I, we were out having a fire up in the Poconos, and I happened just to look up in the sky, and I see this light just sitting there, and it wasn't a drone, because it wouldn't have stayed there as long, and it's just sitting there, hovering over the water. It's pretty high up in the sky. I tried to take a little video, and all you get is a little dot. Just a dot like that. And personally, it was kind of freaky, to be honest. Just seeing a white dot just chilling there. And it was really weird and scary just seeing it. Another incident, I was out filming a documentary for Bates Motel. And when we were filming, as I came back from the documentary, I see not one, but 7 lights just shoot up into the distance, which is actually really kind of freaked me out a little bit. And that was back in October of 2019. So they are out there. There are weird things out there. And if you ever look up in the sky and you see something out of the ordinary, 9 times out of 10 it's UFOs. Even people on TikTok, they post a lot of videos about UFOs, and it's actually really scary too, just to think about it. Plus, the one thing that worries me about UFOs is the government. They know they're out there, and they deny knowledge. But a lot of people who came in contact with these UFOs have a lot of sightings with the Men in Black. Not the movies with Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones, but the actual Men in Black. Guys in black and white, tuxes with sunglasses, and they either try to wipe your mind or they kill you. You also got to worry about the black-eyed children. The black-eyed children are actually one of the most scariest beings ever. They knock at your door and they ask to come in. And if you let them in, then I don't know what happens, but if you don't let them in, they keep knocking, they eventually leave. But the one thing that scares me is the pupils, everything in their eyes, jet black. And they're the form of aliens. You also got the black-eyed people. There's a story about that. Basically, this guy looked like he was probably born in the 1950s, maybe looked like he was in his late 30s. He walked up to this family. A mom, a dad, and a daughter. He said, "Hey, your daughter's kind of cute. I'm new, and I just moved into town. Where do you guys live? What church do you go to? Where's the best place to go shopping? Oh, I see you have a kid. I'm shopping for my nephew, yada, yada, yada." And the one thing she saw were his eyes, and they were jet black. She didn't think anything of it, but when she got home, she got a friend request on Facebook from this guy, which freaked her out. And then when she looked at this guy's Facebook, it looked like it was fairly new. She goes to the supermarket a few days later. She sees the same guy talking to another family with 2 kids, asking them the same questions. His eyes were jet black. Once he saw the woman, he walked out of the store without buying anything. So they are out there. Personally, I think I've witnessed some people like that, because like whenever I do Lyft, I do pick up some weird people at night, and where I live is pretty much the woods, so I mean, you never know. There is another thing too. If you do see a UFO, you notice time goes like that. So that's going to wrap up today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you do, make sure you smash the like and subscribe. Part 2 of this video may be out in a couple days. It's probably going to go out in the next 2 weeks whenever this thing comes out. So yeah, if you guys are new, smash the like, subscribe, turn on post notifications, and give you guys a shout out. So also next week, I'm going to be going to Satansville, which was actually filmed a couple months ago. But yeah, we're going to be going to Satansville, so I hope you guys enjoy it. I'll see you guys in the next one, and you look up in the sky, just remember, they're out there.